Hi everyone, today I'm gonna walk you through an art lesson. It's a self-portrait inspired by Picasso. Picasso did a lot of portraits kind of like this one. This is one of his. And let's see. And this one. He also did a lot of portraits where he just kind of mixed up where the eyes and the nose and the mouth was and changed the shape and stuff. So we're kind of inspired off of that today. What you'll need is paper, just white paper, tracing paper if you have it. If you don't have tracing paper, then with supervision you can use like a tablet or a computer screen to trace instead of doing another step later, and we'll get to that in a second. You also need a pencil and like a Sharpie or a black marker so you can outline it at the end before you color it in, and then whatever you want to color with. If you want to use watercolor or paint or markers, that's totally up to you. Oh, and pictures of yourself. You need pictures of yourself. So what your first step is going to be is to take 3 pictures of yourself, or 2 or 3, depending on how many you want to do. And one will be straightforward, one will be totally on your side, and then one will be kind of in the middle of that. So these are my 3 pictures. Here's my side one, my diagonal one, and my front facing one. And so once you get those, you can either print them out like I did, like I said, and trace them with tracing paper, or if you don't have them, tracing paper, or want to print them out, you can, with help, pull up the picture on your tablet or computer and trace directly onto your white paper through that. Just don't push too hard because you could hurt your computer or your tablet screen, which is why you need supervision. So your first step, once you have your pictures printed out or whatever pulled up on your thing, is to trace it out with tracing paper. So I already kind of started tracing out on this paper the outline of my first angle here. And I'm just gonna reline it up so that I can finish it really quick for you guys. And you don't need to do all the details or anything like that. You mainly just want the main lines that you can see. Like I can see my eyebrow here, and I could see the lines for my eyes, and the lines for my nose, but I don't need a bunch of crazy detail lines or anything like that. All right. And then once you finish one side, you can go on to your next side of your face. And how I was lining them up to make sure that they line up is I was lining up my shoulders, because in my pictures I still have my shoulders in all of the pictures. So how I line up the tracing paper to the next image is I just lined it up on my shoulders on a new picture, kind of like that. So I can start off like that, and it kind of helped me keep everything in line how I wanted it to be in line. So then you just keep tracing all your main lines like that on the same piece of tracing paper. Or if you're tracing it from your computer screen, just write onto your white paper. When you've done that on either just 2 or 3 faces, depending on what you want to do, it's going to look something like this. And once you have this is the step that is different depending on if you traced it like how I did or if you traced it just directly onto your white paper on the computer screen. If you traced it right onto your white paper on your computer screen, you can just go ahead and start outlining the outline you already have in black marker, just going over it. But if you did my step, there's one step in between those that you have to do. You take your traced outline of your 2 or 3 faces, and you put it on top of your white paper, but you want to put the pencil side, so the side that you were originally drawing on, onto your white paper, so that the pencil that you were doing is touching the white paper and not facing out here. And then you're going to retrace over it like this. And that's going to make the pencil underneath it go back onto the white paper. It transfers it on from the tracing paper onto the white paper. And you can kind of, if you want to make sure that you keep it on here, you can use a piece of little like painter's tape or just some Scotch tape and tape it onto the page so that if you need to move, or to check that it's actually transferring, you don't lose where your space is, and then you can lift it up and you see the pencil transferred onto the white paper here. And you just do that for the rest of your drawing. And if you want, you can leave out some lines if you don't really like how they all look on top of each other. I know in my final product, I left out a couple of the hair lines because it got a little, like, it was a little messy and hectic over here. There was too much information with all the lines that were there. So I kind of left out a couple of it. But then once you've traced onto your white paper, like I mentioned before, you're going to go ahead and just take your black pen and you're going to, it can either be fine or thicker like I have here, and you're just gonna line over your pencil and color it however you would like. And then you have your final portrait at the end. I hope you guys have a good rest of your week and are staying healthy, and we'll have another art lesson soon. So I wanted to just add really quick, since I didn't show you guys this way, the tracing directly onto your white paper from your tablet. I have, or your computer screen you can use too, but I have my tablet right here and I pulled up the picture of myself. And I'm just putting my paper here. Depending on where you are, if it's too bright in the room, it may be hard to see your screen. So it might be better to go into a room that's a little darker, because then it'll pop a little bit better to see your outline. But then you'll just want to outline again, just how you did before, all the outlines that you think are major, not any of the detail outlines really. And just like last time, do what you were doing before. Do the whole outline, and then again, you would just line up your shoulders and proceed.